Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to Align Plans. Today, as you can tell by the title, we are going to be chatting about and kind of giving you an update on what is happening with the Take a Note Planner. I know we haven't really chatted too much about this planner / journal, but I thought that we would kind of do a quick little midway check-in, mid-year check-in, but also it will be kind of like a hybrid between an is it for you small review. And if you're sitting on a fence or right now you're kind of doing an evaluation of like how your system is working and if you should jump ship and maybe try this one instead, well, hopefully this video will kind of help you decide that. So why don't we just get started? And of course, if you are brand new and you've never met me, my name is Meshi and I'm the person behind Align Plans. We chat a couple of times talking about anything and everything minimalist planning and journaling. And the whole idea of this channel is for us to kind of figure out how to use the things that we have without over-consuming, but then also allow them to actually help us rather than just over-consume. And look at the beautiful sunshine coming through. All right, why don't we just kind of get started? So to kind of give you a background here, I have, so this one is in a B6 size. It says medium at the front. So we'll do a quick little overview of the planner itself. And I wanted to share sort of like how I'm currently using it. And I'll give you guys like an update on how that's actually working or if I'm going to be changing that moving into the second half of the year. Okay, so this one is actually the 10-year anniversary. And it is, I'm not even sure, like it has like a monthly layout and then our weekly layouts kind of look like, it's sort of like a halfway vertical. So I will find the exact name on the website so I can just kind of plop it here on the screen for you. But let's take a look at what comes inside and all of that good stuff, all the technical stuff. So obviously the cover is a hardcover. I bought it in a B6 size, and when you first open it up, you have one page sort of dedicated to, actually, let's just get you guys zoomed in so you can see. So you have one page fully dedicated for the 2025 calendar. And then we have a couple of like perpetual calendars. So one of them is made on one page. This can be used, I feel that this can be used either as a tracker or as sort of like a reminder, like birthdays. You can use it in a multitude of ways. I don't know. To me, this feels like too little space for me to really utilize it for anything. And little disclaimer, I'm actually using this as a replacement for my Hobonichi Hon or Hobonichi cousin that was like in an A5 size. And I just wanted something that is not the commonplace book. Like that's not a common planner. So that's sort of where this kind of came in. And I thought that this would be a really nice alternative. Once you turn the page, then we have the actual perpetual calendar that most of us are familiar with, where you have like the full month and the days. And the days of the week are also broken down here on this side. And then the color actually changes. Here's a zoomed in version of this. So here on the side, the Saturday and Sunday is it's kind of highlighted with brown. And then the days of the week throughout the week are basically gray or black. And then, so again, like for the full 4 weeks, it just makes it a little bit easier for tracking, or if you want to kind of figure out if a certain date kind of falls on the weekend. I'm using this currently for kind of highlighting birthdays or any major things that are kind of coming up that I need to pay attention to, like if contracts are coming up for renewal and that sort of thing. And then we move on to the monthly. Now, the monthly, if you're not familiar with the planner itself, the monthly, like the borders are still relatively small. You do have, I believe these are about 3mm grids that is throughout this entire planner. Again, technical spec, I will just kind of put it here on the side of the page so you can see it. But I'm finding, here's what I find just like at first glance at this page that I kind of really love. Let me use my little pencil so that we can get all technical here. Okay, so basically these are the borders for the actual page of where the monthly lies. What I love is that this whole section, like when you're looking at it, it's relatively chunky, which gives you ample space for you to write goals, do a monthly tracker if you really wanted to. The bottom section is also generous where you can do a full-blown monthly tracking if that's what you want to do. But then if you wanted to utilize some space here for decor, you also have some space here on this side too. So I would kind of see like you can kind of write like the name of the month here, or you can write it here. You can write it here, but the thing is that I wouldn't utilize this space for too much for decoration. I would utilize actually like especially like this chunk of space. In my opinion, it would be more ideal to kind of write like monthly goals or any reminders or anything like that that are like really relevant for that particular month. Obviously, you can use it however which way you see fit. Some people use a ton of decoration, and I mean, I will show you an example of that. Not much happened for the month of January, but then here, like this is a good example of what I mean, where if I wanted to put like a larger decor sticker here, I had the opportunity to, but then here I can both write a reflection and some goals of the month. And I still didn't feel so constricted and I didn't feel the constriction of the size of the planner, if that makes sense. So this was sort of the monthly, and honestly, I use the monthly, but I don't use it as religiously as I should. Like moving into the month of June, I haven't actually decorated it. I think what makes this planner journal really shine, is actually the weekly layout. So it took me a little bit from like February all the way up to right now, not only to stay consistent with it, but where I'm actually finding myself staying really consistent is actually in the weekly layout, which is something to be said about the Hobonichi cousin, because I was not consistent within the Hobonichi cousin at all. I found it to be so much between the dailies and the weeklies eventually. But here is a blank week, just so that you can kind of see the orientation of the page and the layout. So here on the side, so you have from 1 to 30. So it looks like it breaks it. You have a highlight of where we are for within the month, of what week we're on within the month. Here's why I like this just a little bit more. I kind of hated that every time like we're trying to put in like a monthly calendar somewhere in the weekly, it always kind of takes up one of the corners. And sometimes that's good, but sometimes it's kind of redundant. So I kind of like that you have numbers 1 to 30 here. If you want to kind of highlight something that is actually happening outside of this week, it gives you that option. To me, it just gives you a lot more, I guess it gives you a lot more flexibility. It's just a different way of looking at the monthly layout. But nevertheless, and it leaves you like a full column of space that you can kind of use to write whatever you need to write, or what if you wanted to add a tracker, you can do that. So it just kind of gives you a little bit more options. Me personally, I like writing in, I started actually writing in the monthly goals versus writing in the weekly goals or any of the tracking that I wanted to do, or like sort of like the priorities for the week. Because I actually have, if you look, so this is a good example of that, I do have that as like the first column. So moving back onto the blank week. So you have this whole area that you can kind of, it's already somewhat sub-segmented for you, and you can use that or not use that. But I kind of like the fact that it doesn't have like a time tracker here where you feel like you need to do time blocking, because unfortunately for me, if I see that there's a time blocking option available, I will more than likely use it, because I want to be able to use the planner or the journal in the way that it was intended. But the fact that it's removed, that it's not even existent, it kind of gives me that freedom to kind of figure it out however I want to kind of, journal in here. And because this is more like a memory keeper planner / journal, I don't actually use it to plan anything here. But it's nice that I can also make these spreads really functional if I want to. So anyways, the first column here, I usually dedicate this to priorities. The second column, I started dedicating it to mental health. So anything that's related to mental health, I kind of like to just do a quick write-up about it. Family moments are not really for me. They're more just like moments that I really wanted to capture that happened within the family. One of the family members did something that impacted me, or just something that I really want to remember looking back. And then memorable moments, this is all about me. This is something that impacted everybody, but then also it's aspects of my life that I really wanted to be able to remember. And then the weekly reflections is just sort of like a small little recap of the week. This practice of doing a weekly reflection has been so helpful because I find that it just gives me a little bit more perspective, especially on days when I might be feeling a little bit sick, or if I happen to, do some journaling on days when I don't have that much energy, or I just finished work and my energy levels are like a little bit lower. Weekly reflections are a really nice way for me to kind of look at overall how the week has gone rather than just focus on that specific time period or that day. Because I might have a crappy day, or I might have like a couple of hours where my energy is not that great, but then the overall like how my week unfolded was still really good and really, really happy and really energetic and really successful. So there is that about weekly reflections. And then here, the top section for each day that is dedicated, I've just been using it basically to kind of do some memory keeping. So having said all of that, now what is working for me, obviously, as you might have guessed, is the weekly layouts that are definitely working for me. I find that I can kind of mix it up really well between like the larger decor pieces, enough writing where I don't feel bogged down, but at the same time, I also don't feel like there's too much empty space if I don't get to it all the time. And then if I want to write more, then I just write a little bit smaller. I also tend to actually mix up my pens a little bit. Okay, so I kind of like that I can add decoration or I can kind of play around with the colors, which adds a little bit of a highlight. I like how we can kind of coordinate that a little bit better. And then sometimes I have a full blank week and I just don't get to it, and that's totally fine too. So there's just something to be said about, I just feel like the feel of this journal/planner is a lot more relaxed. It just feels like I don't feel the same pressure that it's like, oh my God, there's just so much that I need to get to in order for this to be filled. Now you move to, so once you have your weeklies figured out, in the very back, after all the weeklies kind of finish up, then we have sort of like the commonplace book section of this planner. I like that the Take a Note gives you like these little monthly calendars. I still have like a full sheet. So every time I start like a new month, like I just kind of add the monthly sticker there. And so where I really like it, like, I mean, like if you look at like the blank page, this will give you like an idea of like, again, like the orientation, how everything is just kind of chunked off into blocks. And you also have a dot in the middle, a dot down in the bottom section in the middle. And then it also kind of gives you some guidelines for dividing the page however you'd like. So these are all the features that you need to know about Take a Note. The other thing that I would like to mention that I absolutely love, this. You will never make me hate this. I love the fact that, especially if you're left-handed, that everything, and then like the middle is stitched together, so everything just lays beautifully flat. It makes it so much easier when you're handling the booklet to write in there. It's comfortable on either side of the page. So that's it about the technicality of the actual planner. Now, as far as the experience with this, the paper is Tombow River paper, which I think many of you know. And I feel like this is one of the most underrated planners out there currently, just because I think that Hobonichi gets such a strong hype, and I'm keep comparing it to it because I think that the most comparable planner to the Take a Note is the Hobonichi planner, even though the paper quality is totally different, even though it is Tombow River paper, but it doesn't perform the same as the one that you would get in the Hobonichi. Nevertheless, I like both. I like that there's a little bit more feedback on this paper actually. So I do have a preference to this. And honestly, when I do sit down and I take the time to actually plan in here, I really love this. The other thing that I also have to say that I have grown to really enjoy here is the fact that it's more of a hardcover planner. When you buy the planner, I believe they give you a cover. With my purchase, I actually got the cover for it. This is in like a taupey color. I took this off just because sometimes I actually just want to be able to just use the, I mean, we can put it on, but sometimes I really like that cardboard cover, and I want to be able to see that. But I love the fact that when you buy the planner, you also just get the cover with it, which is really cool. So just it's just one extra thing that you don't have to purchase, which is, obviously it's really nice. So these are all the features that I can tell you about. Now, how it's going is when I'm regular, like when I'm actually showing up and I'm filling it out, I actually really enjoy it. I have actually done a video when I've done like a full weekly layout, when we were kind of talking about how to sit down and take some time for yourself. Within 10 to 15 minutes, you can easily fill out a full weekly spread, at least I can. And it feels like it's enough time for me to kind of sink into the practice of journaling. So that's definitely one thing that I really like, the fact that there isn't like this huge time commitment for me to actually just journal on a regular basis. So it's one of those things where you kind of need to be honest with yourself. If you're wondering like, okay, is this going to be for you? Is it not? I find that if you want to start journaling and you want something that gives you a bit of structure but a little bit more freedom, where you don't feel like there's going to be like this huge time commitment with any planner or journal, I think this might be a good fit, especially if you're looking for something that gives you a section for creativity and the freedom to write whatever you want, where you can literally use this as a journal or a planner. So I'm using this interchangeably, because if you want to use this as a daily planner, you 100% could, and I think that you would probably get a lot of use out of it. I'm more speaking from experience on using this as a memory keeping planner, and it gives me enough space for me to feel creative and at the same time enjoy the process, because I'm not bogged down with how the book lays down or the paper quality, or if it's going to bleed or anything like that, or if previous days spread will show up in the other page. So as you can tell, like there's a little bit of ghosting, but there's literally no bleed through on any of my pages. And most of my pens are between a fine and a medium nib, so there is that. It's not like I'm using really, really fine tip pens for me to write in there. But I will say that I've been really enjoying the mix of using something like the Pilot Kakuno and using something like the Pentel Energel, and this is in a 0.5. So these two pens have been really great here, where it adds a little bit more depth and a little bit more variety. So if you're wondering, how's it going? Will I stay in here moving into the second half of the year? The answer is absolutely yes. Will I change the way I journal in here? I don't know. I think that my style of how I like to keep memories, it constantly changes and evolves, as it should, because we're not always writing the same season. So as far as that's concerned, I'm not sure if how my layouts are right now, if that's going to stay consistent. I'm going to keep doing that as long as it works for me, but it's such a personal thing that I can't even advise you on it. But this is basically all I want to share. I would love to hear from you guys in the comments. Please let me know if, first of all, if you have the Take a Note planner, like, do you like it? Are you going to stay in it? Just share your thoughts in the comment section below. I would always love to hear from you. And if you don't have a Take a Note planner, did you find this video helpful, useful? Hopefully you did, and it maybe helped you decide to maybe get it for the second half of the year. Either way, just thanks so much for showing up and for hanging out with me today. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. And if you did, you can give it a thumbs up and subscribe and do all the things. And in the meanwhile, I cannot wait to see you guys in the next one. And just keep planning, keep journaling, and I will see you guys soon.